Good morning, Trenton. Another morning, Monday morning with Darren Freedom Green. Fresh ideas for a brand new fresh city. We have another strong panel today of guests who are individuals who aren't big names, but they're doing big things right where they live, right where they work every day. Whether it's going to school and being a great student, or whether it's just operating in their level of play in life, looking to make it better, not better by applying themselves to the variables in life and making life much more productive and better for themselves, our community, our city, moving as one, moving forward. My first guest might be my favorite. I don't know. We'll know. You all right this morning? All right. Now don't start to and all of that. Introduce yourself to the listeners.
My name is Tameia Hamilton.
All right.
I'm 13 years old. I go to Joyce Kilmer Elementary School.
All right. All right.
I'm
all
a
right.
poet. I do athletic. I play instruments. Yeah.
You didn't hit him with the year. All right. So tell us a little bit about your art. Joey met you down at Classics Bookstore, and you did a poem. We're not going to read the poem yet, because we're going to save that masterpiece for last. But tell them a little bit about your poetry and what made you want to go into that, and why poetry makes you happy.
Poetry, to me, it makes me happy because it gives me a chance to express myself.
Okay.
Cause some kids don't have somebody to go talk to.
Nice.
And they build up all this anger inside, and it basically turns into hate towards other people.
Okay. Very nice.
So when you write it down, it's like you just taking all the stress away from yourself and putting it on a piece of paper.
Okay. So poetry is a way for you to express all the things you have inside you.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. But you also play instruments as well too, right?
Yes.
So tell them a little bit about that.
I play the African drums with my choir.
Nice.
I play the African drums. I played the regular drums, regular bass drums.
Okay.
I played velvet drums. I played the electric guitar.
Wow.
I played the acoustic guitar. I wanted to learn how to play the piano, but.
Okay. Maybe I have to get you over to the conservatory, because they do piano lessons over there. So you play all of those instruments. Where did you learn to play that?
Well, I learned how to play the drums when my family drums runs in our family.
Okay.
And it skipped down to me.
It skipped down to you.
The drumming skipped down to me. So now I drum in my family.
Okay.
When I got the choir, I wasn't familiar with the African drums.
Okay.
And then my teacher, he taught me how to play the African drums, like the
Okay.
djembe.
Okay. Who taught you that?
Mr. Thomas.
Okay. Good. So you play the drums, and tell us a little bit, what's the difference between the African drums and regular drums?
Well, regular drums, you use drumsticks. It's like certain drumsticks you have to use, you have long ones, you have short ones, and then for the African drums, you have to use your hands. For the African drums, you have to use your hands to play. You can't. Some of the drums you do use drumsticks though.
Okay.
Some of them you do.
Okay. We find out you got a bunch of skills. All right. So you go to Joyce Kilmer.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Joyce Kilmer and what that means to you.
Joyce Kilmer is.
And be nice.
It's a good school. The principal, Miss Bethea.
All right.
She's nice.
Okay.
And we have our teachers. I'm in 7th grade, so my teachers they're tough, but they're nice. And they help you a lot.
Okay.
So, reference teachers. You have reference teachers. You have the counselor. You have basically anybody to talk to inside school. You could just walk up to a teacher and they see you looking sad, they'll pull you aside and ask you.
Nice. So you feel comfortable inside of your school. I was talking to you, and something you said stood out to me. You said you were walking, and Principal Bethea called your name. You didn't even know she knew your name, right? How'd it make you feel?
It made me feel like I wasn't nobody inside school.
Nice.
Most people don't even know your name.
Okay.
If you go to a different school,
right?
Most teachers don't even know your name.
Right.
Like the principal walk up to you, they'll say, "Hey, you." They don't say your name. You're looking like me. What?
Right, but she knew your name.
Yeah.
That's important. It's always important for our young people to feel wanted, to make it feel like the experience is personal. And I'm glad Mrs. Bethea is doing phenomenal work over there as the principal at Kilmer, making the experience of education personal. There she is. I call her Miss P. So she's definitely putting her foot down over there and definitely allowing our babies to feel comfortable in the one environment that will allow them to enrich themselves and educate themselves and fortify themselves to be able to move forward in life. And to me, it's definitely making the most of her opportunity in school. I wanted to talk a little bit about something else profound you said. Um, where you grew up at, and you don't have to say where because people don't need to know where you live at, but the environment where you live. Something you said to me stood out in regards to how a lot of the adults in that area act more like children instead of adults. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, where I live at, if you're like you feeling bad or something, you have like problem at home inside your house,
Okay.
and you look to an older person for reference or something, they act like they're you, and
Wow.
you have to be in their role.
Right.
Like for some kids, like you have brothers and sisters and siblings, and you have to take care of them because the parents want to take the responsibility of it.
Wow. So, in essence, as a young person who's looking to learn and grow in life, you're now being forced to really be the adult. That's powerful. And I wanted to point that out because I think a lot of times people take for granted what happens in terms of urban education specifically and why our young people struggle. Oh, they should know better. Oh, they should be able to do this. I really don't think people have a picture on what all our young people go through in the midst of just trying to develop a foundation on life and learning life skill principles and education. So that's an excellent point. What for you is important as you're learning? Because you're at the age now of 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a 13-year-old who's clearly intelligent, sharp, and you're skilled, multifaceted, where you have the ability to play instruments, where you have the ability to play the drums, you do poetry, what is it that keeps your spirits up in the midst of all that negativity? Because you have like a smile that lights the room up, and you have a beautiful personality, and you just come across with all this joy and happiness, but you really come from a dark place. How do you do that?
It's really two people that
Okay.
helped me in my life. My mom
Okay.
and my godmom.
Yeah. Talk
Like
a little bit about that.
My mom, she, like, if something bad happens, she'll always tell us that some people can't change how you feel, so just let it go. Like she'll actually, my mom would have me. My mom doesn't lie to us. My
Right.
sister and me, mom will not lie to us. Like, say if you ask her a question about something that's happening, she'll sit you down and she'll explain it to you, like why it's happening, how it happened. And my godmom, she just like she's there because she basically helped my mom raise me.
Okay.
So it's like she's also there. And
All
she
right.
also helps you, like, she'll sit down and listen to you when you're talking.
Good.
Like, when you're talking to her, she'll sit down, she'll listen to you. Yeah.
And walk you through it, right? That's very important. And I think a lot of times, now who's that right there?
My little brother.
Okay. So I think a lot of times we don't understand the importance of what really has made our city go astray, and that's the loss of family. And it seems really clear that it's evident that a lot of your foundation and your internal fortitude and your fight to be better and keep a better perspective on life is family. And I'm really happy and elated that you have a beautiful family around you helping you be better. So you definitely got a good godmom. We'll keep an eye on her. She's doing some real good things over there. But no, she brings a lot of love, and that's important. What's for you important about family? What really means the most to you about family?
Love.
Okay, talk to them about that a little bit. That's a powerful word there.
Family, like the love they have for one another. Like how if something bad happens, they don't let us separate them.
Nice.
Or some families, but most families.
Okay.
Family.
Okay.
If something happens, they won't let it like separate your family apart. We keep together.
Okay.
We equal one.
Basically. Nice. Okay. So, in essence, we're saying that the most powerful thing for you is in fact your family, and that's important. Now, in your poetry, do you write a little bit about family and what that means to you?
Most of my poetry is about my mom, how she's sad sometimes.
Okay, talk about that a little bit, because we're going to end up letting you read one of your poems, but I want them to understand what makes you write and what you write about. So talk a little bit about your mom and your poetry a little bit.
My mom, when she's feeling down sometimes, you can see it in her face expression.
Okay.
And she starts to she's not getting out of bed.
Okay.
She'll lay in her bed all day.
Okay.
And you ask her what's wrong, and she'll come over to you and she'll sit down and talk with you.
Right.
But my mom, she's to me, she's a phenomenal person.
Nice.
I like my mom a lot.
Okay. So your mom inspires you to be better. That's good. I think a lot of times we as parents, as role models, as mentors, really don't understand the importance of our role as helping our young people develop in life and move through life by giving them a real good foundation. And I'm just certainly elated that, you have some people in your life who are helping you be the best person you can be, because you certainly are a blessing. We're happy to meet you, and you're doing some really great things. Talk a little bit about your home, your community, your city, and some of the things you'd like to take from Tameia. If Tameia could come in and be the boss and come in and make things better, what would be some of the things you would do immediately to make them better?
Make them better?
Yeah, just make where you live and make life better.
Make life better, I would probably help out more senior citizens in our home.
Okay, all right.
Because there's a lot of them around, and most of them having heart problems.
Nice. Okay.
And then I probably have more foundations to help young children my age grow up and to understand society.
Nice.
And to learn how to express yourself before they fight and all that conflict.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you right now, you're impressing a lot of people, because at 13 years old, you already have the skill sets and the gifts most adults don't have. And then what I really appreciate about you already is you have a reverence, and that means a respect for your elders. Always keep that. Even when they're wrong, you stay right, because sometimes we can have some shot out people in life. Don't tell them I said it, all right? But it's very important we always be respectful to our elders and try to make their lives a little bit better if we can through our words, ways, and actions. And I'm certainly so happy that you have that kind of foundation in place. I guess we can get right now to the masterpiece. You want to read one of your poems so they can actually see what you have going on?
Yes.
Talk clear now, because I want them to be able to hear your gift. Talk real clear and talk loud.
A mother's poem for a mother's dreary days. Have you ever tried to find a pathway to a place where you think you belong, but you can't seem to find the right way to that place that you call home? When you look over your shoulder and you see your family is there, and you think you should move on with your life. So much pain inside hiding behind a smile. So many people counting on you, but how can you count on you? You don't even believe in you. A wise person once told me, keep your head up, believe what you dream, but first believe in yourself and you'll accomplish those dreams. You've tried so hard to keep the stress hidden from me, but I've traveled through the mist of mystery. And there I find you shivering in the cold. All I could think of was what should be told to you, to your family, to everyone around you. Then suddenly I awake. It was just a dream, but it still made me think. What could it be that's helping me through my life? I get the question's answers. And it's you, the one who delivered me, and I thank you, Tiffany. Even though you may think you haven't gave me the best life so far, the truth is you have, just because you kept me when I was born.
Wow. All right, I think we're going to need one more before you get out of here, because you might be a superstar in the making, and me and Joey definitely want our percentage of the sign rights. Okay, don't try to leave out of here, sign for $1 million, like, I don't know, Freedom, no, I don't know, now. Give one more. All right.
This poem is called Why. Why do you have to make me feel like I'm nothing? As if I'm a piece of glass and you see straight through me. Wow. Well, let me tell you something, honey. I will be seen. Not only will I be seen, but I will be heard. I am not just a welcome mat. You will not walk all over me. Why do you have so much anger built up inside you? I know you feel as though you should scream and swing as you do. I hold you tightly to where you can hear my heartbeat. You begin to cry and scream, why me? I hold your face, now we're looking eye to eye. As I wipe the tears from your tense and almost dry face, I tell you, you're beautiful in my way and in yours, and no one can tell you different. Why? Why do you not speak your mind and become boisterous as I do? Do you feel ashamed of something and sad? Come on, you can open up to me. Come on, speak your mind and don't hold anything back from me. Why? Why do I ask of this? Because I love you and I'm tired of you wearing this mask to hide your feelings inside. Why?
Nice, nice. Definitely got to give her a round of applause for that. Okay, so we want to thank Tameia for coming down, and we're going to keep her involved in what we're doing. We're definitely going to have to bring you back and do an update again. But she is 13 years old. She's a walking little miracle, and I think she's an example of what can happen in this city when we're always talking about our young people being this and being that. You're seeing a physical example again of what can happen when a village of people, specifically starting with the family, stays on top, keeps nurturing, keeps teaching, and keeps pushing our children to be the best they can be, even amongst difficult circumstances. Is there anything you want to say before you leave out? You want to tell them?
Yeah. For all the people my age, if you have feelings inside that you want to get out, I advise you take a piece of paper, think, and just write.
All right. So she's advising them to write and use that poetry and use that gift. So we're going to bring you back on again sometime, and we'll update about what you're doing, where you're going in life, and some of the beautiful things we hope you continue to do, all right? We're so proud of you, and we love you for what you're doing. Can I have a hug? Because you're official. All right. Keep going on this way. All right, that was our first guest. Now we're going to bring on. Yeah, you got to bring Miss Jade on because she's going to cut up anyway. So we definitely got time. She's going to definitely cut up, but that's what it is. But I want to thank the beautiful Tameia for coming on this morning. But our second guest is not shy at all. So we definitely want to say good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
All right. Always a pleasure to be around you and see you. I know you. They probably know you from walking that strut. Introduce yourself again.
Hi, I'm Jade Diva from Jade Diva Promotions and Productions.
All right. Okay. Tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them the history.
Well, I'm from Sumter, South Carolina. I was raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And I've been doing this for 3 years.
Okay.
Strong.
That's probably that swag. That's that country New York swag. So we're getting the best of both worlds. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we are. You're a phenomenal individual.
And I brought some products with me too.
Okay, we'll show that before we get you out of here because I already know how you do. You talk to them a little bit about what I learned about you from the modeling you do. Talk to them a little bit about that, what got you into it, and what makes you want to model.
Actually, I tried to go for modeling back in the day.
Okay.
My younger day.
Okay.
But they said I was commercial.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said I was commercial, but I didn't want to do commercial. I wanted to walk the runway.
Okay.
So I got discouraged.
Okay.
So by me having my own company,
right,
I want to give those kids or adults the chance to do it.
Okay.
So the ones that been turned down,
I like that.
Oh, you commercial, or you can't, you too big, you too tall, you know, you this or that.
Okay.
I'm that go-to girl.
Okay. Okay.
I won't turn you down.
Right.
I'll show you the ropes.
I like that.
I have trainers as well.
Okay. I like that. I like that. And I've seen a few shows you've done, and it is diverse, and it has people from all different sizes and shapes and figures.
Yes.
But it allows them, when they hit that stage,
they feel good.
They feel good.
Themselves.
And you can see that smile 100 miles away, but they're also just invigorated that people are paying them attention. I think that's a beautiful thing that you really can't put a price on.
Right, right.
All right. So, what made you want to go into that, and how did modeling become what Jade does?
Well, when I'm walking the street, I feel like I'm modeling.
So. Okay. All right. All right. So you just took it to the main stage. All right.
I'm ready.
So. Okay. 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 So we want to talk a little bit about, I really want to bring you on so they can get to know you, see you a little bit. Of course, your product line, but you have a show coming up.
June 9th of Going Green.
Talk to them a little bit about that.
Well, I want to teach people how to clean up the community, the environment.
Nice.
And recycle clothing, especially because when I was growing up,
we
recycled clothing.
Yeah, we definitely do that.
we recycled, and we reuse. Pass down clothing.
That's the norm. That's the norm. Okay.
So we want to continue that. Don't throw it away.
No.
Somebody else could use it.
That's right. Okay.
And look nice.
Okay. So the Going Green is not just a fashion show, but it's also an idea of recycling and making so others can have something better.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that. I know you got my man DJ T-Bo.
Yes, he's going to be in the building.
Yeah, you got to say it like that. T-Bo. He's definitely one of the best out here, and he's always giving the best of himself to help out and make you a little bit better. So talk a little bit about what you'd like to do with modeling, what you'd like to do specifically in Trenton, and where you'd like to go with it. Trenton can be a little crabby place.
Oh, that's okay. I can handle Trenton.
Okay. So,
I'm from Brooklyn. So.
Okay, you're right. That's that down south, New York swag. So what would you like to do, let's say, 2 years from now? What would Jade have liked to put in place with modeling and all of your gifts and abilities to make Trenton better?
Well, I want to continue bringing on the people that have been shut down.
Okay.
I want to continue that. I want to build up their confidence.
Nice.
And I just want to make a difference.
Okay.
Jade, she helped me. Because actually, my models now, they wrote me letters. Nice. They wrote me on Facebook. Thank you, Jade. Thank you so much.
No, there's a lot of love at your shows.
A lot of love. And that means a whole lot to me.
No doubt. No doubt. When you begin to rebuild people, that you can't put a price on that.
Right.
You certainly do.
So when you see these models, give them a chance. They really put a lot of effort into this.
They do.
So
would you at some point in time, and I would like to always say, most of what I do is catered back into our education, our young people. Because again, people are saying, "Oh, why you always got to be getting them?" Because there are now,
right?
And if you see a broken adult, that's because somebody didn't help them get fixed when they were young,
right?
So it's very important that we use a lot of our programs and our gifts and our abilities to give back. Have you ever given thought to maybe working within the school system, doing some mentoring with the young ones?
I do.
Okay.
The Habitat. I have the kids. They're actually doing artwork.
Nice.
And they are so excited. They have 3 projects to do.
Okay. Okay.
So they are really excited, and we actually want to put it up for if anybody want to buy it.
Okay. For sale.
For sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of art is it?
They're gonna have paintings.
Okay.
And putting together recycled stuff
okay.
to make it into something. I don't know. But they're really excited.
They doing the damn thing.
They doing it.
Okay, okay. Maybe I have to get in contact with is it Artworks? They do big.
Yeah, Artworks. Yeah,
maybe we'll have to connect, because again, something I've seen in Trenton is we have a lot of people doing good stuff. They just don't know about each other.
Yeah.
And then you actually have the Art All Night coming up too for Trenton.
I'm trying to get my models to walk that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna have live band there, so
it's wide open.
Models? Yeah.
It's wide, and what I always say in our community specifically. A lot of young. No, that's not us free. That's a white thing. No, it's not. It's encompassing to every ethnic background in the city. Yes. And I always say to them, "Well, how do you know that? Have you been?" No, that's what I heard. No, go over there and experience, and it's all night long, festive occasion. There's really so many things to see. And again, here she go cutting up on them. Don't get that started. Let's talk a little bit about that before we get off. Before we show you stuff, then we get you out of here. Talk about them bikes.
I'm in a club in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
It's Diva 2 Riders.
All right.
It's 7 girls.
Okay.
Actually, they gave me my name, Jade Diva.
I'm gonna talk to Perry about that. I'm really not gonna co-sign.
They're the one who gave me my name, so I live up to my name.
So somebody else gave you the diva, but you just walking with it.
That's right.
That's the story. We're gonna let that go right now. All right. So I'm glad you
for 10 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what does riding do for you? Is that a part of expression as well?
It relaxes me, actually.
Okay.
It's like a medicine. Like, you just feel better. Yes, you feel better when you ride.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, so you want to show some of your...
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me check you out.
Well, let's start off with the shoes. I'm known for the shoes.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I am known for my shoes. I love shoes, crazy shoes.
What do we have here?
This is the Electric Thunderbolt.
I can already tell you Joey's going to be blogging about that right now. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so we definitely got the shoes.
My shoes.
What else you got over there?
And the dress I made for the models.
Okay. Wow. I'll make sure you can get it over here on the screen. All right. Wow. And you made that?
I made this.
Nice. Okay. It's newspaper.
It's a newspaper dress.
Okay. Classic. So you make, design, and wear.
I design, yeah.
Okay. That's all part of being a model. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I can't let all my secrets out.
Yeah, don't let all of them out. Because Perry be talking about he wants copyrights and where's his hat.
That's
okay.
Right.
So in closing out, we definitely want to thank you for coming down. And again, you want to give them some contact information about where they can reach out to you, because certainly we had a number of things you're doing now, and you may want to talk about your show that's coming up, and also just give some contact information for people who might want to get involved and be a part of that event. Okay, well, again, I'm Jade Diva. We're having a Going Green runway show. It's going to be located at 1040 Pennsylvania Avenue. No doubt. I'm on Facebook at CEO Jade. All right. You can contact me at 609-222-3538. All right. And I take all sizes, heights. I don't discriminate. No doubt. Male and females. No doubt. I have three more shows coming up, so stay tuned, guys. Right, and they definitely need to get in contact with 3 more shows. That means 3 more lists of models who could potentially get in. I also want to add on, we are donating portions of the proceeds to Donnelly Initiative. Nice. So there's kids that they have an after-school program, and they're not that fortunate, and they're not popular. Okay. Nobody don't really talk about them. And okay. I want to bring them up. And what is the name of them again? The Greater Donnelly Initiative. Okay. Is that Donnelly Homes? Or where is that at? I don't want to give the wrong location.
I'm not sure where they're located. Well, actually, they're at A Better Way now.
Oh, okay.
Because where they was before, I guess.
Put out.
Yeah, they got put out.
Always somebody had heard about that. So outstanding again. And shout out to Perry Shaw.
A Better Way now.
You do know Perry Shaw.
Yeah, I know him. Okay. I heard of him.
Okay. But the executive director over at A Better Way, phenomenal individual who's always giving the best of himself.
Yes.
And doesn't like the spotlight, but always brings the light with him in the form of love and reaching out. And he does that all the time with people needing. That's why I do a lot of Twittering, and I always big up A Better Way, because they're not only a reentry and second chance opportunity for people who need a second chance, but he ties in and collaborates with a lot of community organizations to make a better way. Isn't that a commercial? That was smooth, wasn't it? A better way for other people.
Yeah, so they've been going there.
Yeah, no doubt. So certainly I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We'll keep you in contact, and then you come back and update us. And again, when your next show is coming around,
I'll be back.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a great day now.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to bring on our next guest. We're rolling. Come on in here, because I'm about ready to yoke something right about now, but we ain't going to go there
We're not going to go there right now.
All right. But good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. We ain't going to act out, but as soon as this is over, I'm on your heels.
I'm not scared.
Oh, I already know it. Introduce yourself to them this morning, beautiful.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dorcas Thomas. I go by D.
Okay. Tell them a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, I'm originally from Seattle.
Oh, wow.
Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
We moved to, my family and I got a brother and sister. We moved to New Jersey.
Okay.
Way younger years.
Okay.
And so I went to, Willenboro High School. I'm from the area.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically my whole thing is that I was in, I held a corporate America job for...
Keep that chair so they can see you now. We don't want no problems.
For quite a while.
Okay.
Had kids early, had to get into the, get out there, get into the workforce, do what I had to do. But I always had a passion for hair and beauty.
Okay.
So a few years ago, I was laid off.
Okay.
And I decided to go ahead and pursue my dreams.
Nice.
I went to hair school and, started my whole vision.
Okay.
Okay. So what I do now is I've titled myself Traveling Beautician.
Yeah, that's what caught my ear when you said that. So talk a little bit about that.
There are so many women who don't like the salon experience.
Okay.
They might have balding issues. Okay. They may have children and don't have the time, to get to the salon. Right. Or don't have the time to stay there all day.
Right.
My
mom says, I'm laughing because I want you to go ahead with my mom. That's the first thing. I don't want to lose my whole damn day in that bar.
Yeah. You tend to end up in the salon all day long.
All day long.
So I started just, here and there, just going to different people and doing their hair. But I was at the same time I was still looking for a job, still looking to get back out there and get back into the office and do what I was doing, and I was having such a hard time. Right. And I'm going through and I'm praying and I'm God, why can't I get what's going to happen? Something's got to happen. You got to make a way. And then of course. He answered and said, "I gave you the gift."
Okay, all right.
You just haven't been. You're not using it. Okay. So I took that and I ran with it. I did. Nice. I followed what I was supposed to be doing from the beginning. Nice. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to be out there and make people feel good and conquer a lot of the issues that Black women have with their hair. Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because sometimes I don't think we understand the magnitude of the hair business, and that really it deals with and stems from self-esteem. It's really like a lifestyle within itself, because I know people who, if their hair isn't right, they won't even come out the house.
This is true.
So talk a little bit about what that all means to you, and how you really enjoy having the ability to create wonder in people's lives.
Actually, as a child, I grew up severely insecure. Okay. I was very, very insecure child. No. Yeah, believe it. My name is Dorcas.
All right.
So, you know, a lot of women. I mean, like I literally have clients who have patches of hair gone.
I got you.
And they want to look a certain way, or they want to, you know, follow the current trends or whatever it is when it comes to hair.
Right.
But they feel like they can't do that.
Okay.
Because of their issues. And again, they're not going to go to a salon.
Right.
And sit there where they're exposed and everything else.
Right.
So I think a lot of beauticians share the same sentiment when you say it gives you like this great feeling inside when you finish somebody's hair and they just have this big grin on their face, and you know they're so excited, and you know it actually extends beyond hair.
Okay.
You know, I fashion tips and you know things like that. Like I do all of that.
Okay. You
know, we have weight issues.
What we got here? What are those?
All my earrings.
Okay.
Or so some of my earrings.
So
and jewelry.
You accessorize.
Well, yes.
Yes.
With your hair being your main accessory.
Okay.
You know, you could drive a fancy car. You could live in a fancy house. You could put on all the earrings and necklaces you want to put on. But if you step out of that car, exactly.
What is that?
Exactly.
All right.
So a woman's hair is her main accessory. Even in the Bible, you know, it says a woman's hair is her glory.
Nice.
So
nice.
You know, I mean, it is what it is.
No doubt.
And again, you know, Black women, we have growth issues, and a lot of times, people don't understand like what they can do to get their hair to grow, and you know, they got the products out there now are crazy. Everything is geared towards hair growth and this, that, or the other. So it's a lot of lack of knowledge when it comes to hair.
I agree.
And for the most part, when these women are going into the salon, they're just going in to get a style.
Right.
And they're not really, you know, getting into the health issues and all of that. So I do all of that. Like even if, you know, we have a head full of weave, you got to make sure.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you pointed that out. Thank you.
You got to make sure that underneath you still have your own head of healthy hair.
No doubt.
And, you know, what I tell people a lot of times is that weave, whether it's a short weave, whether it's a whatever, curly, long, black, blue, you know, whatever, it's a great protective method for your hair, meaning it gives your hair a chance to rest.
Okay.
And you know, get it back in gear.
Okay.
To get to growing things like that.
Growing it back.
So yeah, so I deal with a lot of that.
Okay, so what is it about hair in terms of a lot of Black women whom I'm just finding early on in life have nice hair? Some of them coming out, most of them coming out the gate. But I think what you just said was very important. I want to touch on that a little bit because Red Locks, they were in here with their all natural things that they do over there at Walt's Barbershop. Why is it that most or a lot of minority women aren't educated in the area of hair care in terms of just like you said, letting it rest and taking care of it and knowing, even like you said, and that was interesting, even on putting on a weave, that's a science as well because it allows your hair to rest. Talk a little bit about minorities and them being educated in the area of hair that you just don't get up and do anything.
Well, again, there are so many myths.
Okay.
And you know, so many products out there and different things like that just it confuses the entire culture.
Okay.
You know, and it's actually like you said, like it's a science. It's so when I go to a client and I'm working on them or whatever, and I'm just bringing up little things that they can do here and there for maybe dry scalp. Or, you know, maybe breakage issues. They're always incredibly surprised.
Right.
Like, you know, that was right there because somebody said that I should go get this. And somebody said, and you know, but it's actually a science. Like I recently, I gave information to one of my clients and she didn't believe me. Okay. So while I was working on her, she was online.
Googled it.
Yeah, and she Googled it and she punched it in and she said, "Look at
that." So you weren't lying. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of myths and it gets really confusing, you know, and things change.
Right.
Like the balding, the breakage, all of that comes from an assortment of things. It could be hormonal. It could be stress. You know, it could be hereditary.
Diet play a part in that as well?
Diet plays a huge part. You know, women people fail to ingest water like they should and, you know, eat crazy food all the time. And, you know, so I'm out there 24/7.
No doubt.
Just trying to educate women and make them beautiful.
Okay.
That's my goal.
I like that. I like that. And I think a more educated and informed individual in any capacity is always a better population.
This is true.
So I guess leaving off, before we get you out of here, what are you looking to do with your business? What are you looking to do with the line of work you're in terms of being a traveling stylist to help or make Trenton a better city? How do you look to take? And I always ask that of every guest because I want people to know this is our city, and whatever you do, whatever your field of operation is, it's important that you do that well, right, and then come back and give the city something to make the city get well or get healed or get better. What are you looking to do with your gift to help Trenton become better?
Primarily, I completely lost my train of thought.
We'll wait for it to get back. We'll wait. We'll be here.
One of my main things is making sure that our community as a whole does not have to feel like they need to be rich or they need to have an excessive amount of money to be beautiful.
Okay.
It's not necessary.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
my
important.
prices are always very, very below
the
average salon price. That's my number one priority.
Yeah.
Just, you got little girls who want their hair done and they might want long hair down their back, or it might be a little girl who wants cornrows or something, but they're, the moms or dads don't know where to go or what to do without, spending a whole handful of money, a whole week's pay.
Tough economy.
And I say that whether I was an auto mechanic, whether I was, a chef or whatever I did, whatever my gift was, I would never charge the prices that are being charged out there today. And, I put forth my whole effort regardless of the price, whether I'm charging the $300 they charge in the salon or the $80 that I charge, when I'm traveling to.
Give your best.
Right. So that's always my number one.
No doubt.
And mainly just to get people feeling better about themselves. Like you said, the economy is low. A lot, and again, with hair playing such a major role for colored women, we need to feel good.
I like that.
We need to feel good, and that's number one.
That's number one. All right. Yep. Okay. So are you doing anything within the school system? Because again, like I said, to Jade, in terms of the modeling, a lot of our young girls are so crazed with all they see on TV, and they grab a hold, to me, the wrong roles, the wrong role models. And they just get going left field real quick. And we, more or less, as adults, not everybody, but a lot of us, talk about them instead of talking to them. And you're saying a lot of good, healthy things in regards to their makeup, their mental makeup, self-esteem. This is all a part of what allows the individual in front of you to be better. So have you given some thought to working within the school systems?
Not on that level as of yet. Yeah. The things that I do now, I do work with a lot of teens or early adults.
Okay.
In the sense of, for instance, prom.
Okay.
Book me. You have your whole experience right there in your living room. You don't have to, again, the salon rush.
Yeah.
All of
crazy.
That. I help them, even as I'm working with them, I'm talking to them about their makeup, mental and physical.
No doubt.
The way they carry themselves and things of that nature, young adults. And then what I've also done is knowing that they're teens and they go through so much.
Oh,
mentally. I got some of my own.
That's a whole nother show.
Right. What I've also been known to, I reach out to them and a lot of times through their hair.
Okay.
If I see that they're feeling, there might be a certain teen in my neighborhood who's feeling low about herself, and it's always very evident.
Yep.
I take them. I say, hey, look, if you're able to do this,
right,
bring it to Miss D. Miss D's gonna do your hair.
Nice.
I again, with the recycling clothes thing that Jade was talking about, that's excellent because I do it. I do it all the time.
That's amazing.
So not necessarily within the school, but within the community.
Right, and that's a school.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
And with the young kids, I do push. I do push a lot for self-esteem and different things like that.
That's beautiful. Okay, so you want to give them some contact information because you're the traveling stylist, and they're going to want to get at you.
Okay, well, number one, I can be reached at facebook.com/ DORCAS2330.
Okay.
And you can follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of styles on Instagram. It's at DEESIGNS. That's designs.
Okay.
Designs. And I can always be reached by my telephone number. My flyers are out there, 609-850-9506.
All right.
And I'm always ready, willing, and I make myself available.
No doubt.
24/7.
Okay. Okay. So we got you locked and loaded. Make sure you reach out to her and allow her to help you beautify yourself with all, there you are, with all of your gifts, skills, and abilities. She's a traveling beautician. And again, the first thing you can think about is no overhead. So that means the price has to be right. But again, what I enjoyed most about conversing with her, and that's why I wanted to bring her on, was just her love for wanting to make things better and understanding the dynamics of how you really can't hammer people all the time, man. You got to really just give back sometimes to get back. And if all you got your mind on is the bottom line being the dollar line, well, that'll be all life is for you. So I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
having me. You did an outstanding job today. All right, we'll get you out of here and we'll keep your information relevant.
Thanks.
Last but not least, he's about to get some body work, but he's definitely in the building. My main man.
How you doing, sir?
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Well,
you know how we do.
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right.
Sir. How you doing,
all right.
sir?
Good. All right, you good. So talk to him a little bit. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Dwight Hunter.
There you go.
You know, I'm from Trenton. I'm from New Jersey. You know, so I'm repping the city.
That's it. That's it.
You know, it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's good having you, bro. It's good having you.
Big things in the city.
Yes, sir.
And I just wanted to say, keep up the good work.
I appreciate that, bro.
You know, from a young guy looking up.
Yes, sir.
We need more individuals like you. Man.
You don't know. You inspire me. So we sharpen each other and still sharpen still. Something you said to me on the phone made my two front teeth get loose.
Come on, man.
Bro, you said you've been an entrepreneur and you've never had a 9-to-5 job.
I've never, you know, I don't want to brag.
No, brag, bro. We need some bragging around here.
But I'm realizing this information, things, you know, situations like this need to be shared.
That's right.
I've never, this isn't intentional. You know, I've just realized I've never worked a 9-to-5 job.
No
I've
doubt.
always, you know, from a young age, I was directed, you know, by mentors,
no
elders,
doubt, no doubt,
to ownership.
That's right.
You know, ownership and leadership were two principles and two things that were drilled into me as a teenager.
I like that.
And so when I graduated high school, I just automatically thought, what am I supposed to own? What am I supposed to run? What am I supposed to manage? And from that energy, you know, doors open, and I was blessed to make things happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've had a LLC from the heart.
Okay.
LLC. It's entertainment based company.
Okay.
I'm a minstrel, a musician, a pianist, if you
Okay.
will. And so what I've decided to do instead of you know, just work for hire was to market myself.
No doubt. That's important.
And so I want to talk about that. If you have a gift or a talent, it's important for you to take ownership of it.
Wow. Talk to him, bro.
And not to let someone tell you what to do with it, but seek vision.
Okay.
Seek a plan.
Okay.
And a strategy as to how you can be effective with that gift.
Right.
No matter how small or large. If it's doing hair, if it's selling shoes.
Nice.
You're an entrepreneur.
That's right.
If you're selling anything and you're successful with it, that's business.
Okay.
That's cash flow.
Okay.
And so you're already using business principles, whether you have a building or if you're on the corner or you're downtown, renting a table, whatever it is, it's all in how you see it. And so you have to take ownership of what you do,
right,
and maximize the potential.
I like that. I like that.
You know.
So ownership for you, and two things I want you to touch on, which I clearly in all the work I'm doing now, it's rebuilding mindsets, because I came up in that same era where the elders and the older brothers always talk to us and work with us.
Right.
Now you got the elder brothers who are actually working and align themselves with the babies and their craziness. So that's something that we want to talk on a little bit. The importance of older brothers walking the younger brothers through life, one. Then the other piece is, which I call an ownership versus the renter's mindset. Ownership means you take ownership, you take responsibility. And again, coming out the gate, you said you define and allow yourself to not be defined, but define your own reality based on your skill set. So talk a little bit about the importance of older brothers reaching back and taking our young in the right direction. And then what is so important about the ownership or renter's mindset?
I'll touch the latter first.
Okay.
Ownership versus renting. I believe that it deals with a lack of understanding and a certain degree of ignorance.
Okay.
So I have to start from a foundation of information, education.
Nice.
Because if you're not informed or educated, then you'll read the wrong signs.
Right.
So you'll look at the state of the economy as an indicator as to whether you should own or rent.
I like that. I like that.
And so it's based on fear, whether I'm going to own or rent.
Okay.
And so that's not healthy.
Okay.
And anyone on Wall Street, anyone who's successful in any type of business will tell you there's risk involved.
That's right.
You have to take a chance.
That's right.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Nope.
If it is, it's probably illegal. And so I want to say, number one, you have to know the value of yourself.
Okay.
All right?
That's powerful.
Because if you know the value of yourself, you'll know I'm supposed to lend, not borrow.
I like that.
I'd rather lend someone than to borrow from.
I got you. I got you.
So you want to educate yourself on just basic business principles, and not gauge whether you should own or rent based on the economy around you, what others are doing around you, the cash flow in the city, whatever factors you think are important. And just once that's done, just to touch on the actual topic itself, ownership is very important, especially in our community. I want to be frank. African Americans, we have to. It's vital that we take ownership of not just what we have, but the things around us. We should be wanting to acquire property, acquire wealth, open up businesses. We need to take ownership of what we do. If not, you'll be working for someone, making that person wealthy.
I like that.
And so what you want is you want to be working towards your own wealth.
That's right.
And if you can help others, that's great. But you have a responsibility, I believe, from God, the Creator, to take care of yourself and your family.
So don't be saying from the essence of who we are as individuals, there's no exception of being sorry.
No.
Lazy.
No.
Always running around making and
These
manufacturing
excuses.
Right.
That hinder you from progress.
Nice, bro.
And whatever you're ignorant of, you'll be taken advantage of.
I like that.
You have, whatever area, if it's finance, if you're ignorant of how money works, you'll waste money.
That's right.
You won't go to work. You won't see the value of money.
Right.
If you're ignorant of the value of your family, children, then fathers, you won't support your children.
Right.
You won't go take them to the basketball game.
That's
you won't
right.
Walk to the park with them because you won't see the value in it.
Okay.
And so you have to we have to do better with that.
I like that. I like that.
To speak to the first question, the elders giving back to the younger. It's so important that we develop an honor system.
Yes, sir.
In our culture and in our society.
Yes, sir.
We respect the wrong people and the wrong things.
Can you stop and say that again, please?
Yeah, we respect, and no disrespect to.
No, it is. It's disrespectful too.
But we respect the wrong people, and we're giving the wrong entities the limelight.
Right.
We're giving too much attention on the individuals standing on corners.
Right.
And using illegal means to gain success.
Right.
There's so much opportunity given to us.
Right.
There are so many individuals doing positive things that we don't we don't hear about them.
That's right. That's right.
They're not on the news. When they do a great interview, it's not like blogged all over the place. But as soon as somebody is shot, you know, it's all over Facebook. It's all, you know, and so our honor, the way we honor and who we honor, it has to be mended. It has to be, you know, kind of reinforced.
Right.
You know,
right.
and
About honorable
redirected.
things.
You know, and
we're making some changes with that.
Yeah. And I that's why I commend people like you and entities like you, because we all have, like you said, we have to do our part.
That's right. That's right.
And this is pushing us towards that direction, man. And so,
yeah. And one of the things I wanted to say was, people in this city love to complain. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest complaints we had was the news. I said, okay, so I'm not going to complain about it, but I'm going to reach out and be that change. So I reached out, had conversations with Joey, and now you actually have a venue where you can get good news being reported. So again, that entrepreneurial or that ownership mindset is needed more in Trenton. Okay, here's a venue. Here's an opportunity. What are you going to do to make it better?
But you took ownership of that vision.
That's right.
You didn't say, you know, I'm going to wait for somebody calls me and ask me to do something. You said, what can I do?
Right.
Let me go to the Trentonian and see what's available. Let me go holler at the new. You made it happen. And this is just the beginning. This is you know, brother, this is just the first door.
No doubt. No doubt.
Just keep pursuing excellence, man, and all the resources you need will be added to you as you pursue.
But say something, because I don't want it to always be me, about how we in Trenton have to stop making so many excuses.
We have to.
You know, but we have to be the change we're looking for things to be, and stop always trying to find a reason to point out why something's wrong.
Right.
And how we can be the vehicle to make it right. I don't care whether it's cleaning up your neighborhood, helping these kids become more mannerable, speaking to people.
You know, I think if we all just started with just how we interact with each other. I think if every individual in the city of Trenton just said, you know what, I'm gonna do a good deed every day.
That's it.
I'm gonna just, you know, say hi to someone, I'm gonna open a door for someone.
I like that, bro.
I'm gonna pay for someone's lunch. They're standing in line before me.
That's it.
You know, ma'am, how you doing? Let me pay. I know you just got a sandwich. It's $5. I would like to just pay for this.
Just give it back.
You know,
I
don't want anything from you. I don't want your phone number. I'm not doing this because I'm attracted to you.
Right.
But we have to learn how to pay it forward.
That's it. That's right, bro.
You know, and once we do that, if every individual starts there, the whole city will change.
Right. Overnight, bro.
And I mean literally overnight. And it doesn't take a miracle. We don't need a capital campaign. We don't have to raise hundreds of millions of dollars. We just have to be informed.
That's right.
And I want to make this point.
Go ahead.
We perish for lack of knowledge, right? So I made a statement earlier. Whatever you're ignorant of, you'll be taken advantage of.
Right.
And so it's imperative that our young people get an education, a valued education.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mean a private school education. What I mean is, whatever institution you're a part of.
That's right.
We have to start on a high school level. It's almost too late.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I agree. And what we're doing is we're talking to children in high school transitioning to college, telling them how important it is going to be for them to do good in school.
Right.
And we have to push that. We have to start a little sooner.
Oh, yeah. With Tameia.
Yeah.
13 years old.
We got to start in middle school, elementary. You should be pushing for your children to get honor rolls then.
That's right.
My son is in 5th grade. And I've been on his heels since day one.
You can bring him on next week if you want to.
And so he's on the honor roll. He's been on it for some years now.
Nice.
And it didn't start that way, but I stayed on him. I do homework. I go over. I ask some questions.
That's right.
What did you learn today? Did you have quizzes? Did you have tests? What did you do?
Being a father.
You have to be involved.
That's right.
But we have to share the importance of information and education with our children. We have to make the connection between a value education and an adult success life.
I like that. Nice.
My son knows if you get the grades now, you'll have a wonderful adult life.
That's right.
Now, of course, there are variables that can change that, but that's the general gist of it.
I like that, bro.
You know, and so I just want to leave this for my high school students. If you get the honor roll, if you just make A's and B's in high school, the best colleges will pay for you to come to their institutions.
Just that simple.
All right? And so you'll have the best college education for free.
All right.
All right? And so your life will literally be set if you just take care of what you got to take care of in high school. So you don't want your first kiss. You shouldn't be worried about your first date and the prom. You should be worried about SATs and PSATs.
That's right.
Running for student government. All of these are going to give you an edge going into college. And for some kids who already know this, they're going for free.
That's it.
So while we're sitting back laughing at them for, you know, for not being on, you know, the star basketball player.
That's right.
But they're the president of the high school class.
That's right.
And they're going to Princeton for free.
Okay.
You know, and so as adults and as parents, we have to speak to that.
Okay.
Because I don't think our kids know that.
No,
they don't understand that system.
Okay.
You know, and so we have to inform them, look, if you just do it in high school, you'll be set.
All right.
Good, you know, that's, you know, and so I want y'all to really think on that. And that's powerful. That's powerful. I didn't know that. If I would have known that.
You're reaching back.
You know, so.
I want to thank you, bro. Outstanding job today. Give them some contact information right before we get you out of here.
You can hear me play live every Sunday on South Wall Street at True Servant Worship and Praise Church with Bishop E. Jenkins. I perform there every Sunday at 11 o'clock. If you would like to hear me, I'm there on Thursdays. I'm speaking in Asbury Park on Thursday nights, as well at the Cathedral International.
Okay.
And also, you can reach me. You can find some of my music material at tracksource.com. That's TRAXX, tracksource.com /Sway Records.
All right. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you, man.
Out of here today.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.
Be blessed, sir.
All right. So, well, definitely wrapped up another Monday. It was a great venue of guests, and I want to thank all of them for coming on. I think if we learned two things this week, it was to end the Trenton disease, and to get rid of the Trenton disease is going to take all of us getting involved, all of us getting educated, all of us working and striving to be owners of our own reality and our own lives. I want to thank the beautiful Tameia Hamilton for coming on at 13 years old. Just did phenomenal things and is doing phenomenal things with her gifts and abilities and coming from a dark place in Trenton, but making life better. And that's what we have to reach back and make sure we're teaching our young people that the world and the universe is theirs if only they educate themselves and push themselves to be excellence in motion. So I want to thank all of my guests for coming on today, and we'll keep working to be better, and we'll see you again next week. You have a great day and make yourself build a better week and build a better capital city by being a better person. Thank you.